Namaskara. Welcome to Samveda E-Class Learning Program. This program is sponsored by Government of Karnataka, Department of Public Instruction and DSAT. Myself, Vinayak Shaldar, working as a science teacher at Government High School, Radder Naganur, Nargunda Taluk, Gadag district. Today we will continue the chapter Heat from 7th standard science. In first session we have studied differentiate the objects as hot or cold. What is the need of thermometer? How to use the clinical thermometer? Precautions to be taken while using a clinical thermometer, and how to measure the body temperature, and what is the normal body temperature of human. Today we will study about laboratory thermometer, structure of laboratory thermometer, how to use a laboratory thermometer, differences between the clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer, and how does a thermometer work. We will study about the digital thermometer, strip thermometer and a thermal scanner. Finally, we will study about the transfer of heat, that is conduction, and we will study about conductors and insulators. In first session, we saw that Bhujo wanted to measure the temperature of hot milk by using a clinical thermometer, but Paheli stopped him. Was she right? Yes. Clinical thermometer is designed to measure the temperature of human body only. Why it is so? If we dip the clinical thermometer in hot milk or hot water, due to excessive heat, rapid expansion in mercury level may occur. This produces a pressure in the thermometer. So, thermometer will break. Then how can we measure the temperature of hot milk or hot water? For that, we have to use a laboratory thermometer. The thermometer used in the laboratory is known as laboratory thermometer. Dear students, please recall about clinical thermometer. Laboratory thermometer is also made of long, narrow, uniform glass tube. It also has a bulb at one end which contains mercury, but the range of laboratory thermometer is commonly minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. How to use a laboratory thermometer? Thermometer should not touch the surface of the container. In this picture, you can see the thermometer is touching the bottom of the surface. So, it is the wrong method, and bulb should be dipped in the material while reading. Look at this picture, the thermometer bulb is not dipped in the material. So, it is also a wrong method. Thermometer should be kept upright, not tilted. In this picture, you can see thermometer is not upright, it is tilted, and also it is touching the surface. So, it is also a wrong method. In this picture, you can see thermometer is upright and not touching the surface, and it is dipped into the material. This is the right method to use a laboratory thermometer. There are many types of laboratory thermometers available. In first picture, you can see mercury is used. In other thermometers, blue spirit or red spirit is used. It is very convenient to read the temperature if blue or red spirit is used. If the thermometer gets broken, there will be issue of disposal of the mercury, because mercury is a heavy metal and it is harmful to the environment. In this picture, you can see there are two thermometers. First one can read up to 110 degrees Celsius, but the second one can read 250 degrees Celsius also. We saw that laboratory thermometer has a wide range. Then can we use laboratory thermometer to measure the body temperature? For this, let us have a video. I have a bowl of hot water. Now I am going to put this thermometer in the hot water. You can see the spirit level is rising because the bulb of spirit is the bulb containing spirit is surrounded by hot water, so it is showing the temperature of hot water. Now I remove the thermometer from hot water. You can see mercury level is going down. What will happen if we use this laboratory thermometer to measure the body temperature? As we take off from the body, the temperature level or the spirit level get reduced, so it will not give the exact temperature of body. So doctor cannot judge the condition of patient, so we cannot use this laboratory thermometer for measuring the body temperature. Clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer have different advantages. They should be used at the particular situations only. Then what are the differences between the clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer? Clinical thermometer has a range from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius only, but the laboratory thermometer commonly has minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Clinical thermometer has a kink. Laboratory thermometer doesn't have a kink. Dear students, please recall the structure of clinical thermometer. It has a kink. Kink is a small curvature in the capillary tube. This kink prevents the mercury level from falling on its own. And the third one is clinical thermometer can be taken out while reading, but laboratory thermometer should be dipped in the material while reading. Let us study about new generation thermometers. This one is digital thermometer. It is very easy to use. Just press the button and keep the thermometer. After some time, it will make a sound and shows the temperature. Very easy to use. And another good thing is mercury is not used. Let us watch a video about digital thermometer.
It works on 3 modes and measures temperature orally, rectally, and axillary. How to use a thermometer. To measure the temperature, press the on-off button and place it into the measuring location. The thermometer will notify you with a signal when the results are ready. The signal notifies you that the temperature measuring speed has dropped. Therefore, we advise you to keep it in the measuring location for a little longer. How to measure temperature orally. Place the thermometer under the tongue, close your mouth, and breathe through your nose. The flexible device tip allows you to do this very easily. After the signal, you can remove the device and see the result. Do not consume cold or hot drinks before measurement. Do not forget to clean the thermometer before and after use. For most accurate results, do not measure a child's body temperature after a warm bath or after the child has been crying. These actions increase the body temperature for some time. Therefore, the results will not be accurate. How to measure temperature axillary. This is the easiest measuring method. You need to switch on the thermometer, place it under your armpit, and wait for results. During axillary measurement, we advise you to keep the thermometer in place for another minute after the signal in order to allow the device to average the results. Do not measure temperature this way while you are dressed or after a bath or a hot drink.
Strip thermometer is made of a plastic strip. A thermally sensitive liquid crystal material is used in that one. It changes its color according to the temperature. It is very easy to use. Place the strip thermometer on the body and change in color indicates the temperature. There are different types of strip thermometer. They are accurate and precise about 0.1 degree Celsius also. I think all of you might have seen this type of thermometer. It is a thermal scanner. Very easy to use. Hold the button and just release. It will show the temperature. It can measure the temperature from a certain distance also. It is a very safe method of using any clinical thermometer. Weather thermometer. This measures the air temperature around it. Maximum minimum thermometer. It shows maximum and minimum temperature of a day. How does a thermometer work? For this, let us do an activity. Take a small bottle with rubber cap. Make a hole in the rubber cap. Fix an empty refill and fill the bottle with colored water. Close the rubber cap. You will see some water level in the refill and mark the level by using a permanent marker. Then take hot water in a dish. Place the bottle in the dish. After some time, you can see the rise in the water level. In first picture, you can see arrow mark is showing initial level of the water and second picture is showing the final level of the water. Let us watch a video about this activity. Let us do an activity. For this, I have taken a bottle and colored water. I have fixed a rubber cork and a empty refill. You can see water level is here. Water level is here in the refill. I am going to mark this one. In this china dish, I have taken hot water. I will keep this system. You can see water level is rising. The water in the bottle is getting heat from the hot water. Water in the bottle is expanding, so it is rising in the capillary tube. In this way, mercury or spirit in the thermometer also get the heat from the surrounding and it expands. So, level of mercury or spirit rises in the capillary tube also. Prepare your own thermometer. Instead of using water, we can use mercury or spirit in the bottle. Keep the bottle in ice. Mercury level will come to the least. Mark this as 0. Keep the bottle in boiling water. Mercury level will rise to high. Mark this as 100. Make equal parts such that to be convenient to read the temperature. I have a request for you. Some of these experiments need glass apparatus as well as heating. So, do these experiments in presence of your parent or teacher only. Now Paheli is in hurry. She has to go to school. She has completed his breakfast. She has a glass of hot milk. She wants to drink the milk, but she don't have the time to wait till the milk gets cooled. Then Paheli's mother helped her. She puts the glass of milk in a container which contains normal tap water. Within 5 minutes, Paheli have lukewarm milk. Paheli drinks milk and she goes to school. Paheli wonders how the milk gets cool. She wants to ask her teacher. Dear students, you may have some questions. Do you ask your teacher? You should ask your teacher. Bhusho has completed his homework. Now he is in the kitchen. He touches the spoon which is in the utensil containing hot curry. He feels the spoon is also hot. He wonders how the upper part of the spoon also gets the heat. His mother tells him that the heat in the curry transferred to the spoon. Then the heat gets spread to the other part of the spoon also. In both the cases, we saw that heat can transfer from one object to the another, and also heat can transfer through an object also. So, let us study about transfer of heat. Heat can transfer in 3 modes. First one is conduction, second one is convection, and the third one is radiation. Let us study about conduction. For this, let us watch a video. Here I have taken a stand and an aluminum wire is taken. 3 wax pieces are set. I call this as first and second and third wax piece. Now I am going to light up a lamp. Observe here, the first wax piece is going to melt. And it fell down. After some time, second wax is going to melt. And the second one fell down. By this experiment, we can conclude that in solids, heat transfers by the method of conduction. In this picture, you can see, suppose the dots are particles in the metal strip. The particles near to the heat source are getting the heat and they transfer the heat to the next one. To understand this one, let us watch a video.
We shall first see the conduction mode of heat transfer. Let us take a look at a simple experiment. With the help of wax, stick nails at equal intervals on an iron rod. Now heat one end of the rod. You can find that within some time, the nail nearest to the heated end falls off. After some time, the nail next to it falls off. In this order, all the nails fall off the rod with time. Why does this happen? The iron rod is made up of atoms, which are constantly in close contact with each other. When the rod is heated from one end, the atom which is near the flame gets heated first. Then, this atom, while remaining in its position, transfers heat to the adjacent atoms. These atoms, in turn, transfer heat to the next atoms. Similarly, loosely bound electrons also transfer heat energy. The free electrons, after acquiring the heat energy, drift through the metals and transfer heat energy by colliding with other atoms, as well as other free electrons within the metal rod. When the point where the nail is stuck to the rod gets heated, the wax melts and the nail falls off. As the heat continues to get transferred through the rod, the nail falls off. In this way, heat gets transferred through the rod. This type of heat transfer is called conduction. Hence, conduction is defined as the process of heat transfer, where heat is transferred from one atom to the other without the actual displacement of atoms.
So, what is conduction? Conduction is the process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object. Transfer of heat occurs in the solids by the vibration of the particles. To understand this one, let us watch a video. Now we are going to perform an activity. This activity shows how the heat conducts through the solid material. Suppose the line made by these children is a solid material. All the children are the particles in the material. Suppose the chocolate is source of heat. Now the first particle is in the contact with the heat source. It gets the heat. This way, all the particles conduct the heat without leaving their place. First particle gets the heat and transfers the heat. I have a question for you. Whether all the solids conduct the heat? Watch this video. So, there are two types of solids. One is conductor and the other one is insulator. Conductor is the material which allows the transfer of heat through it. For example, steel, copper, iron, aluminum, etc. Insulator is the material which does not allow the transfer of heat through it. Example, glass, paper, cloth, water, air, etc. List out some more examples for conductor and insulators. Conductors in our everyday life. In first picture, you can see a delicious dosa is being prepared for you. You can see the flame is touching a only small part of the pan. Then how can entire dosa is getting the heat? Because we know pan is made of metal and it can conduct the heat. So, entire dosa gets the heat. In second picture, you can see it is a electric iron box. When we supply electricity, the coil inside the electric iron box starts to heat and it transfers the heat to the metallic plate. In third picture, you can see they are copper bottom utensils. Copper is a good conductor. It can absorb more heat and conducts better. So, in all these three situations, we are using the property of conduction. Insulators in our everyday life. The spoons and the iron box have insulator handle. So, they prevent getting the heat and we can conveniently use the spoon and the iron box. These hand gloves are helpful for the laborers who are working with the hot objects. This is a coffee cup. This has a hot coffee. The coffee cup is made of insulating material, so it prevents loss of heat. This is a ice cone. The ice cone is also made of edible insulating material. So, it prevents the melting of the ice. Then you can enjoy the ice cream. This is a thermos flask. The plastic cap and the vacuum acts as insulator and it prevents the exchange of heat or getting cold. This is a refrigerator. The body of the refrigerator is made of insulating material. So, it prevents the entering of the heat into the refrigerator. This helps to maintain a certain temperature inside the refrigerator. What is this red box? This is a vaccine box. It preserves the vaccines inside. Vaccines may spoil due to the outer temperature. So, this can preserve the vaccines from spoiling. What is this? It is a truck. It carrying highly inflammable liquid. So, the tank is made of very strong material and it is layered by a insulating material also. This way, in our day-to-day life, we use insulating material. Not only human, but animals also use insulation. The bird and the polar bear has thick feather and a thick fur. It acts as a insulating material, so it prevents loss of the heat from their body. I have some questions for you to check what have we learned. The range of laboratory thermometer is commonly dash to dash. It is minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. You are right. Mode of transfer of heat in solids is, yes, you are right, it is conduction. Conduction occurs by dash of the particles. Come on. Yes, it is vibration. Before we wind up, let us have a bird view. What have we learned? We learnt about laboratory thermometer. In that, structure of laboratory thermometer, differences between the clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer, and how does the thermometer work. We also learned a new generation thermometers, that is digital thermometer, thermal scanner and strip thermometer. Finally, we studied about transfer of heat, in that conduction. We also learned about conductors and insulators in our day-to-day life. I have a homework for you. What are the differences between clinical thermometer and lab thermometer? List the different type of thermometers. Third one is define conduction. Fourth one, define conductor and give 2 examples. Fifth one, define insulator and give 2 examples. And also write the differences between conductor and insulator. Dear students, write the answers to all these questions and submit to your teacher. Stay home, stay safe, watch Samveda and have a wonderful study time. I am Vinayak Shaldar, Government High School, Redder Nagnur, Taluk Nargund, Gadag District. Thank you.